Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment.
Sexual excitement on the dance floor. He's a bit of eye candy for 5 minutes. That's all he is. That's all he's ever going to be. The fans that are blowing his trumpet and saying he's going to be the next big thing. One thing that we're all forgetting, and I know I can guarantee that Joe will agree with me on this one, to be big in wrestling, and it's always been a case, you need it. I-T. I'm sorry, all the new wrestlers that are coming from NXT are exceptionally good wrestlers, but you need it. You can't buy it. You can't train it. You are either it or you aren't. And unfortunately, Vince, Triple H, whoever's pushing these stars is not seeing the big picture. These guys haven't got the it. When somebody like Randy Orton walks into a Walmart, he doesn't have to say a word. People stare. He's got it. John Cena, he's got it.
Okay,
Hogan
hold on. Now, wait a minute, hold on. Of course they have
We don't know what it is, but if you saw Neville walking in a Walmart, if you saw Neville walking in a Walmart, I guarantee everybody wouldn't stare at the guy. A couple of fans would say, "Oh, that's that wrestling guy."
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Now, if that happened, if John Cena 12 years ago, when he first started off and he walked into a building, would you say, "Oh, that's John Cena"?
When I saw him as the prototype on the old wrestling videos, John Cena was a future star. Same with, I didn't see Batista as a star, never have done. I didn't see Brock Lesnar as a star, he was just a muscle guy. John Cena, Randy Orton, yes, there was something about when they were in the ring, they commanded a presence. If you watch the prototype, even though his gimmick is a joke, even Mick Foley and other wrestlers have said, this guy's got something. Don't ask me what it is, I do not know. But when they are in the ring, they commanded that ring. Even if you didn't know they were, you just knew he's good.
Okay, and like I said, it took some time before I started to say, you know what, John Cena has it. And, you know, it wasn't the first couple of matches. It took that time before I said, you know what, yeah, I could see this guy being something. Joe, would you agree with me or disagree with me on that?
You know, I have to agree. You know, John Cena, what attracted people to John Cena was, yes, his physique, first of all, and his little niche. First, and I call it the niche. It's when you almost have the it factor. It's a niche. And on this case, Randy Orton and John Cena had the niche. They had it. And, you know, you can easily see it's something when you look, like, especially me, when I see a wrestler and I say, you know what, guys, that's the guy. That's going to lead the promotion. They got to have a lot of things. I can understand, like, where Andy's coming from. The situation with today is these guys are not learning it. They're not learning even the niche. It's like for guys like John Cena and Randy Orton, absolutely. Those guys have the factor of, how can I put it? They are into it. They know what it is. A lot of these other guys who come out of wrestling schools, indie products, and all that, I sat down with many guys, and they're incredible physiques. Some of them can freaking tie a knot. They can do, you know, crochet while flying, doing moonsaults, and then hit an opponent. The problem is, when you look at it, is that's all they are. And when I tell them, do a promo. Let me see you shoot a promo. Hi, my name is this. Or they try to imitate somebody. Like, yeah, hey, woo, you know, this. And it's just, nobody is teaching the fundamentals. They're teaching, and really, I'm going to throw a little spoiler out for you guys. You can't teach someone triple moonsaults, headlocks, and all that. Wrestling schools teach you the basics. These guys come up with their own moves. They've done it for years, where, you know, you can learn a new move and say, I'm going to implement it. But the moves that some of these guys are doing, they're putting their bodies and risk on the line just for the attention. And once those moves are used up, there's nothing else left. You know, that's why guys like Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Warrior, and several others, they did not need to do all those, you know, fancy moves because they knew they're just as good as what they are. And unfortunately, that's the scenario that we're looking today. Nobody is trained in any aspect, so, you know, nothing is going on. Neville is just going to be another guy who's just going to be, yep, okay, I'm done, after a bunch of matches.
I mean, another thing is, to think on, Rick, look back, and there's plenty of places you've probably even got the DVDs. Look at early Randy Orton, first couple of matches I'm talking about, not like his first year in, first probably 3 or 4 matches. John Cena's first match against Kurt Angle, he came in, he hadn't got, we'll use John Cena as an example, but Randy Orton is exactly the same. He came in, he didn't have his gimmick, but he did exactly the same as what he did when he was the John Cena that we know now. He come in, he did the same moves, he wrestled exactly the same, he was like cool, calm, collected. These new guys come in now, and it's down to immaturity and inexperience. They're like a little puppy dog that's just been let off the lead and it can run around the park. It's like, oh, I'm on television, I've got to impress.
Maybe
they do not. If that happens, you don't have it. Because John Cena wasn't dazzled by the sparkling lights and the television cameras. Randy Orton certainly wasn't dazzled by the sparkling lights and the cameras.
I have to agree.
That is someone like Neville. That's somebody like Neville who's so excited to be there. He's like an excited little puppy dog. And them sort of people, unfortunately, have a very short lifespan in the WWE.
Yeah, but, well, for one thing, you're talking about wrestling moves. And keep in mind one thing. It's not like these guys say, well, gee, I'm going to use these set of wrestling moves in the WWE. WWE is saying, okay, fine. These are the setting moves that you have, and these are the wrestling moves that you can use. So that's one thing. Second of all, if you look at John Cena's character, it's developed over the years. You know, he came in with the thugonomics. Even before that, he came in as just a kid, and he used the ruthless aggression. He was just a kid in a little onesie. So his character is greatly developed.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that.
But anyway, and that's what's going to happen with all characters. Is, this guy never going to be the same person as character? He's going to be in 10 years? Absolutely not. Same thing with Seth Rollins. Is he going to change? No. And you know what? Considering his early career, I say he has a very strong future in the WWE. And, we've seen his finishings have to change, and that's not by his choice. That's the WWE saying, no, you're going to have to change eventually. We are in the moment, guys. I decided to, considering that we've been talking about this, about WWE superstars, over-the-top superstars, who could have a very short span, and we're talking about Neville specifically, who do these over-the-top moves and could be injured. We talked earlier about Daniel Bryan, who is now retiring, and what this means. Joe, we didn't get your thoughts during our last show, and what are your thoughts about Daniel Bryan retiring?
It's a shame. Here's a guy that spent many years on the independent scene, making a living, proving out there in of honor and so forth, that he could be the next big thing. And he did. He became the World Heavyweight Champion. He's won many titles. But after he joined the WWE and he started getting a big push, look what it got him. I'm not saying go half lazy like everybody else does, but he should calm back his moves. He should have. He should not done too many high spots, because look what it did to his career. And it cost him another championship. The guy is great talent. I'm sure he has plenty of heart, something that today we do not see. The guy has plenty of heart because he grew up on the indie scene. He knows how hard it is. Some of these guys are spoiled. They come in from these training wrestling schools that WWE does, and they never learn a damn thing. That's why nobody can cut a promo. That's why nobody can have charisma in the ring. Nobody knows how to look towards the camera or rev the fans up. We're stuck with a cookie cutter type wrestlers, and it's a pity that somebody like Daniel Bryan, who has has to retire at a short period of time. So, I hope he gets better, but he did the right move. Maybe in a couple of years, maybe he can come back, or maybe sooner, but he needs to take that time off and heal up his body.
Yeah. Now, Lance, we know that you've not had a lot of time to talk, but what are your thoughts about Neville being over the top? Do you agree with this? Do you disagree? Or do you think that wrestlers need to be over the top to succeed?
Well, for the gimmick they gave him, or that he kind of earned in the indie scene, that the man that Gravity forgot, he needs to be over the top if they're going to keep going with that gimmick. Or else, if he just walks down the aisle and does just jumps on, that wouldn't make sense with the freaking gimmick. We were talking about this whole all these different guys that WWE has, whether it be on the main roster or in NXT, that do all these high flying moves. I personally think because they have such a core group of guys that can do all these high spots and crazy ass moves. I think it'd be a good idea to take one of the US or IC title, whichever one they would want, and do not quite ripping off the X Division, but some sort of thing kind of like that, so it would give them, they'd know how to work with that, and the WWE just needs more variety, I think. But yeah, some guys know how to take them, and some others just don't. All
right. Now, Andy, I want to get back real quick because you said that we were talking a little bit, and you said how some people you can spot right off the bat, and other people that you don't, early on. And we kind of argued about that. And then I have to give you a bit of credit because there was one person that you did spot right off the bat early in his career, and that was Daniel Bryan. And you said he's going to be something, and that's when he was in NXT.
Yeah, and if you can remember, the day he came on, and then they fired him, whatever, he just got dropped from the show. I said they've dropped the wrong guy. Right from day one. I don't know what it is. I've probably been watching wrestling long enough to know who is going to make it big and who isn't. And I've said the same. I've grown to like Dolph Ziggler. And a lot of professional wrestlers have got nothing but praise to say about the guy. But unfortunately, I don't know what it is. He does not have it either. He's a talented wrestler, but he doesn't have the it that we've been talking about, and it's a shame.
I have to agree, and I think as much as I like Daniel Bryan, who seems like a likable character, he has the good mic skills, he has good wrestling, when he walks in the ring, he just feels like everybody wants to feel sorry for him, and that's really what it is. If I have to give somebody who I think has it early in his career, it's got to be Seth Rollins, and you can like him, you can hate him, but he has it. I'd have to, Roman Reigns, even though he doesn't say a lot, I think he could be a next one too as well. And I know a lot of people may disagree with me or disagree. Joe, if you had to pick one or two people who has it early in their career, who would it be?
Well, you know what? I definitely have to agree with you regarding Seth Rollins. He's untapped potential. When he started, when they broke him away from the Shield, he was kind of stumbling a bit on his words. Now he's confident. He's starting to move forward. Roman Reigns, I'm surprised he doesn't have the it factor for being in the same family as The Rock. I'm not saying that he should have had the chromosomes, but he should have learned from The Rock. I look at everybody who has the potential, and it's unfortunately that list is so tiny that I have to say it's the same people you just talked about. There's one person I got to throw in there has what's called untapped potential, and we saw that potential and unfortunately WWE slammed him back down again. And that's Damien Sandow. And he's got, as the Miz's stunt double, he's got so much pop and so much push that his career literally took off. Here's a guy who could have been maybe the Intercontinental Champion. And since they now broke him away from Miz, he's now in the land of the lost, where he's now trying to imitate other people's gimmicks. And that won't last long.
Yeah, I agree. Lance, finally over to you. Who do you see as, a next it factor, or the next person who could probably lead the WWE? One or two people?
Well, lead and have an it factor, to me, has two kind of different things. One guy, it depends on how quickly they bring him up and push him. Granted, he's technically not on the main roster yet. I see a lot of promise in Finn Balor.
Okay.
And somebody who has an it factor, I mean, I know y'all, some of y'all give him some shit, but there's just something about Ambrose. I don't know what it is, but I think there's just something about him.
Arrogance.
And,
yeah.
Yes.
He does remind me kind of like almost like a Mick Foley craziness, but he doesn't have that friendliness, craziness, happiness that Mick had.
Well,
but
I can tell you right off the bat who Dean Ambrose reminds me of. You can agree or not disagree, but guys,
Brian Pillman.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Loose cannon, Brian Pillman.
And unfortunately, I've said this on quite a few shows. Everybody is like putting all their eggs again in. I keep calling him Moxie because I prefer to call him Moxie than Ambrose, but everybody's putting all their eggs in the basket. And I've said this, and I'll put my neck on the line and say it again. That guy is going to get no bigger in the career than that guy we've just mentioned, Brian Pillman.
I'd say more of a Foley, but Rick, like you said, he doesn't have the whole Foley friendliness. But remember, Mankind didn't start out being a cute, cuddly guy. He started out as a deranged psychopath.
Yeah, but again, I don't see Ambrose growing to be that type of a person.
Okay.
I still see him to be as to be like the loose cannon type of character. But you know what? Right now, we want to know what you think. What do you think about what we've been talking about as far as injuries? Do you see that we're talking out our ass, or do you happen to agree with us? Do you think that WWE might be pushing some of these young stars too hard? Or, and also, who do you think that could be possibly for the new up-and-comer it factors? Who are the new stars of the WWE? Make sure you put your comments in the comment section below, and please make sure you like these videos, and please subscribe to us over at youtube.com/HWR show. Andy, where can everyone find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at www.stokehaunted.com.
We have the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. And Joe, where can everyone find you at?
Well, you can find me at facebook.com, Joseph Knight Manager. You can also follow the CWA Wrestling Association at facebook.com, Classic Wrestling Association. You can also follow my YouTube videos at youtube.com, The Classic Knight with a K. You can also follow us on our website at ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com.
And, of course, we have the incomparable Lance Moss, and you can find him at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. Lance, what do you got going on, and where can everybody find you?
At youtube.com/LanceMossTV, and I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck garment cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, the archives of controversies and scandals. So don't forget to go over there and subscribe, and hit me up on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV.
All right, everybody. So until next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
Next week, we are going to debut our new wrestling names. Over there is Rockin' Rick Head, Lightning Lance Moss, Adorable Andy, and Jumpin' Joe Knight.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.